Good afternoon. My name is Mahlumula Maroba. I'm a second year mixed farming diploma student at Potchefstroom College of Agriculture. I've also worked in the hemp and cannabis space since 2017, primarily on an activist level, lobbying government with regards to the laws and all the legislative changes that we believe are required in the country. And at Potchefstroom College of Agriculture, we have a hemp and cannabis cultivation program. So the students have basically grouped themselves to cultivate, to grow cannabis. Currently, we're growing high THC cannabis because we don't have access to any hemp permits or the actual seeds themselves. So basically, we've grouped ourselves under the Private Purposes Bill, which allows an adult to grow for plants. And as students, we aggregate that to do with what we want to do. My opinion piece today is mainly focused around the exclusions because we've had a very qualitative and quantitative day to day. The presentations have been very number focused, research, which is extremely important. However, the underlying issue seems to keep on being exclusion. There's exclusion from a legislative point of view, finance point of view, and all the other aspects that we're looking at. And my belief for the reason for that is because most of the conversations and interactions that are happening happen at a very high level. They happen at this kind of level, and nobody's going to where the people are at who actually have to use and access the hemp and cannabis. So there's no critical mass, The products are being produced, but they're being produced for a certain demographic, and they're being tested in the very same demographics over and over again. For example, at the college, one of the reasons why we have grouped ourselves to cultivate cannabis is because as agricultural students, as farming students, we need to know the technicalities of growing hemp and cannabis. It's an industry that they're talking about in South Africa, and we are saying that it's going to create all these jobs and opportunities, but there's no technical training that is currently available unless you go to private providers. So in order for us to break these barriers and to stop having high-level conversations and interactions, we need to have formalized, accredited, recognized training programs in agricultural colleges. We need to have them in FETs, we need to have them in higher education institutions, because then we have created a critical mass, enough people who have enough knowledge to then go out and then question what needs to be questioned so that the changes need to happen. The very same with the companies that exist currently in South Africa, whether they are making CBD products or they are making cosmetics or they're making whatever product that they're making. It becomes saturated because we keep on making products for the same people. Nobody has went to Soweto, Ikageng, to ask the people, because cannabis is an industry that has been operational in South Africa for hundreds of years. People use it in the ways that they want to use it. But currently, especially since liberalization around 2017, we haven't necessarily engaged with the people who use and benefit from the plant to ask them what products that they want, which is why I believe the legislative process is moving quite slowly, because we're giving them products that come from Europe and we're saying, this is what is available. And we have to legislate according to European standards and US standards, as opposed to engaging the critical mass, asking them what type of products that they want, and then we create a regulatory framework based around that. You understand? So that is my contribution to the conversation today. To say that we've got Rastas, we've got traditional healers who use cannabis products in many different ways, and I don't believe on a formal basis any of these companies have engaged them to ask, how do we engage you? How do we create the products? How do we standardize the products so that we can have a regulatory framework that is acceptable in South Africa, but also creates a critical mass? Because also the government, the people who are supposed to legislate us, don't necessarily know how to legislate, because they don't have this information. They don't know which products need to be sold in South Africa. Nothing has been tested. So and a lot of conversation is around how government, legislators need to make changes. But I also believe that companies, the companies that currently exist in South Africa need to take bold steps. They need to take the risks. It's important to take the risks, to go to the critical mass, because once we have a framework that benefits a large enough amount of people, it becomes justifiable. And then we can talk to the government on a table and say, yes, we have overstepped there and we've overstepped there. However, it's for the benefit of the group as opposed to benefiting one individual. So that's my input today, to say that we've had a lot of positive developments in South Africa. There's a lot of challenges. A lot of the challenges are in government's hands, but we also as participants, activists, potential entrepreneurs, people interested, we need to take those risks. We need to have those conversations. It needs to be bigger than the room that we are in today. The people who could join are on online platforms that need data, so it's still very exclusionary, and we need to remove those exclusionary barriers if we want to see any kind of industry in South Africa. Because, I mean, like I said, we have people in South Africa who have been using hemp and cannabis for years. So all these products can come and they can be regulated, but if they don't speak to the people that they should speak to, nobody's going to, use them, and we're still going to have a stalling industry in the country. Thank you very much.